Something you've been waiting for spiritually, emotionally, or energetically is already beginning to unfold. The beginning of August isn't slow. It's active, noisy, and divinely synchronized. If you are a chosen one, you will feel this clearly. This is the moment when the pause ends and the next step is revealed. It may not be what you expected, but what about your soul? It knew this was happening all along. In this video, what the first days of August 2025 mean for the chosen ones. Why you are finally receiving answers, signs, and momentum. How to know if your breakthrough is coming in disguise. Why this surprise may feel emotional or even overwhelming. What to do now that the spiritual silence is over. This is the shift you've been feeling, and it starts now. Chosen ones. Spirituality, astrology, astronomy, universe. You may not have marked the date or felt the difference on the calendar, but your field noticed. The body whispered before the mind understood. The energy of August didn't enter through the door of linear time. It silently seeped through the vibrational cracks of the earth. It wasn't on the first, it was before. An invisible wave crossed the planet's energetic grid like a subtle, yet intense current. It didn't give a warning, didn't ask for permission, it just arrived. And only those who are awake, or too sensitive to stay asleep, felt this impact. Maybe you woke up more tired, not knowing why. You had symbolic dreams that seemed like encrypted messages. Your mood fluctuated as if your soul was trying to adapt to a new internal season. And for a few moments, everything seemed without a logical explanation. It wasn't a crisis. It was contact. August began with a galactic pulse, a collective activation, a sign that the invisible gears of destiny have started to turn at a different frequency. The earth is vibrating differently, and your energy is being called to respond. The curious thing is that not everyone is noticing. Many are going about their routines as if nothing is happening. But you know, deep down, something has changed. As if reality itself has become more malleable, as if possibilities have gained a different texture. The veils are thinner. Time seems denser in some moments, lighter in others. There's a strange urgency in the air, as if something is about to be revealed. And at the same time, a sacred calm saying, prepare your field. This wave didn't come to destroy, but to align, to accelerate what was ready, and expose what was being avoided. You were touched because your mission is within what is being activated. And everything that is to come will be a response to that silent call you have already heard. You thought it was over, didn't you? That it had already been resolved, sealed, forgotten? But August doesn't work with hasty endings. It returns to the points that were poorly stitched, to the frequencies that still vibrate out of sync with your new version. And this month, the past doesn't knock on the door as a memory. It comes back as a vibrational test. People, situations, desires, and decisions that seemed archived now reappear, often with a new appearance. But energetically, it's the same cycle seeking conscious closure. The universe doesn't repeat situations to punish you. It repeats them to position you. If you respond as before, you repeat. But if you respond as you are now, you transcend. This is the key, to realize that it's not about the other person, nor about the fact itself. It's about your energetic response. The law of cycles is active. August is a master of loops. Everything that was not ended with truth, clarity, or alignment returns as a chance to do it differently. You may notice this in unexpected reunions, old feelings resurfacing out of nowhere, proposals that sound familiar, or even internal impulses that remind you of past versions of yourself. Don't be confused. The appearance is new, but the plot is old, and that's why it's so important to be present. If you act out of habit, you reactivate the pattern. But if you act with consciousness, you activate the leap. This is a month where awareness of what repeats is power. Nothing is sabotaging you. Nothing is coming back for no reason. August brings to the surface the hidden knots, the unfinished business that your soul is ready to untie. The challenge is not to resist. It's to recognize. When something gives you that strange feeling of spiritual déjà vu, stop, breathe, and ask yourself, Am I acting like who I was or like who I already am? This revisiting is not a setback. It's alignment. It's the universe handing you an old key to open a new door. And only those with the courage to face the echoes can finally silence the past. Before we continue, if this message is resonating with your soul, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment below what you are feeling. This simple gesture helps this message reach other awakened souls like yours. Shall we continue this journey together? Then activate the bell and follow me. August changes your way of perceiving. It's as if your energetic field is being updated for a new language of reception. Intuition, that silent voice that whispers before something happens, becomes the main channel of guidance. But it won't be logical. It won't be explainable. And often, you will just know. Without proof, without reasoning, without apparent reason. The mind will try to question, but the body will have already decided. Maybe you feel a sudden urge to distance yourself from someone, or a physical sensation of discomfort in an environment that seemed safe. A project that was perfect on paper might start to cause you repulsion for no clear reason, or on the contrary, an unexpected idea fills you with enthusiasm without a rational explanation. None of this is by chance. This is your frequency responding before logic. It's your pineal gland, your subtle radar, emitting alerts and permissions directly from your energetic origin. The biggest mistake will be to ignore this just because it doesn't make sense. August asks you for the courage to follow what is not verbal, what is not visible, what doesn't fit into mental categories. What your soul feels is right or wrong is more real than any argument. And it's not paranoia. It's vibrational discernment. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it's a compass. This recalibration of the internal sensor can bring a sense of strangeness. After all, you were conditioned to depend on logic, analysis, external approval. But now the universe is training you to trust something more subtle and infinitely more precise, your vibration. Don't expect others to understand your decisions this month. Many of them will come directly from your center, from your I know, even if you can't explain why. And when that happens, honor it. August is a master of invisible training, and your sensitivity is the most precious instrument in this crossing. Those who listen to the invisible don't get lost in the chaos of the world. You spent too much time in the invisible. You worked on your healing in silence. You cried without an audience. You transformed wounds into strength in the dark. And now, without warning and without planning, August begins to pull back the curtain. But it's not to show you off. It's to align you with your true frequency. The universe isn't promoting you socially, it's exposing you energetically. And that changes everything. People will notice you without knowing why. They will look at you differently, approach you with curiosity, ask about something you can't even name. This isn't charisma, it's your field. Your vibration has changed, and the world around you is just reacting. It doesn't matter if you haven't changed your look or if you still feel insecure. Your energy is saying, now I am ready. And August, as a cosmic mirror, is reflecting that back to you. This vibrational exposure can take you to unexpected places. Invitations arise, opportunities appear. People listen to you with more attention. But everything comes loaded with purpose, not ego. The risk here is not pride, it's fear. Because when you got used to hiding, being seen hurts. But this is not the time to retreat. It's time to understand that your frequency has become compatible with your mission. Maybe you are called to lead, to guide, to make a public decision, to defend something you believe in. Don't run away. You were prepared in the silence for this moment. Every pain you faced in the dark now transforms into vibrational authority. And even if you still feel you aren't ready, your energy has already decided for you. August doesn't give you rehearsal time. It puts you directly on the stage of your frequency. And everything around you begins to position you where your soul already resides. So trust. What is being revealed now is not to expose you. It's to align you with who you truly are. August brings a special kind of encounter. The message encounter. People who cross your path not by chance, but as living mirrors. Some will provoke strong reactions. Others will cause you unexplained discomfort. There will be short conversations that seem to carry hidden codes. Small gestures, loose phrases, glances. Everything will be loaded with symbolic meaning. Because the universe is using these interactions as a way to show you who you are no longer. Maybe someone treats you with disrespect, and instead of reacting as before, you just smile and walk away. And in that instant, your soul celebrates. A cycle has been broken. Or maybe you feel irritation with someone you once admired. Not because the other person changed, but because you evolved. This type of reaction is key. What once vibrated with you no longer fits. And that is vibrational clarity in action. August activates this mechanism with force. Relationships function as portals. When you observe without getting emotionally involved, you see the reflection. When you react automatically, you repeat the bond. The choice is yours. But no, the universe is not putting anyone in front of you by chance. Everything is an opportunity for self-knowledge. These living mirrors can also come in the form of sudden dramas, others exaggerations, disproportionate reactions. And your task is not to correct the other person, it's to ask yourself, what is this revealing to me about myself? The answer can be liberating, because often it's in the chaos of the other person that your evolution is confirmed. What bothers you may be what you have already healed. What confuses you may be what you need to let go of. So observe, without judging, without absorbing, without falling into the emotional trap. August is training you to perceive without getting lost. And when you can look at the other person as a reflection and not as a threat, you enter a new level of vibrational consciousness. You may not remember when you signed it, but your energy knows. There are agreements that were made without words, invisible bonds sustained by fear, attachment, guilt, or simply habit. Connections that are no longer compatible with who you are becoming, but that still occupy space in your frequency. August arrives as a subtle scalpel, severing these silent ties that were preventing you from rising. Suddenly you start to feel uncomfortable being with certain people, or you notice that places once familiar now drain you. Conversations lose their meaning. Interests disappear. It's not a phase. It's a release. What was once held by vibrational affinity begins to lose its energetic glue. And there's nothing you need to do with anger. Because August doesn't come to cut with violence. It dissolves with consciousness. The collapse of these agreements can generate strangeness. Relationships cool off without a fight. Cycles end without a crisis. And your mind may try to understand, label, justify. But there is no drama. There is closure. The universe is saying with gentleness and firmness, this no longer serves your mission. And when you honor this silent call, the space that opens up allows the new to approach. Maybe old friendships just drift away. Beloved routines stop making sense. Certain activities start to feel empty. Honor the vibrational morning, but don't try to keep alive what your soul has already let go of. August is taking care of the cleanup you postponed, and although it may hurt at first, the lightness that comes afterward is liberating. Attention. This does not mean cutting people off with coldness or contempt. It means recognizing when the energy no longer sustains itself. You can love, bless, and move on. Because true bonds survive any transition, but those sustained by fear, control, or obligation, those, August dissolves. With love, with firmness, and with purpose. Not every earthquake is physical. Some shake invisible structures, and that's exactly what happens when Saturn meets Neptune on August 6th. A rare encounter between the planet of structures and the planet of illusions. And the effect of this? The collapse of what is not true. Energetic masks, plans based on denial, relationships fueled by fantasy. Everything that doesn't have a solid root begins to fall apart in the field. And it's not punishment. It's liberation. Maybe you will realize in an almost brutal way that what you have been feeding as a future plan has no real consistency. Or you discover that someone who seemed to be everything was actually projecting aversion. It's a day of gentle shock, because it doesn't come as a scandal. It comes as lucidity. What you once insisted on keeping now loses its charm. What once deluded you now reveals its raw form. And at the same time, what seemed confusing begins to gain clarity. Relationships that seemed uncertain prove to be solid. Old intuitions are confirmed. Forgotten dreams resurface with force. The universe's question is clear. Do you prefer the comfort of illusion or the leap of truth? This choice determines your next cycle. August 6th is a kind of vibrational window, a moment when your soul will be pulled into the truth. And the more you resist, the more intense the discomfort will be. But if you surrender, you will realize that losing illusions is not a loss. It's a relief. It's taking the weight off of carrying something that was never yours. This date is an energetic divisor. Pay attention to the conversations, revelations, and insights that arise on this day. Everything will be loaded with codes. And maybe, in a simple silence, you will realize, I already knew. Because your soul always knew. What was missing was the courage to see. And now, you can't pretend anymore. August tears the veil. And what remains is your naked truth vibrating without a disguise. You spent so much time reading the fields of others that you may have forgotten to look at yourself. But August spares no one. And at some point this month you will be placed before a mirror that does not distort. An intimate, silent, and irreversible moment where your soul will whisper, I no longer believe in the version I am representing. And in that instant, the mask you were wearing, even without realizing it, will begin to dissolve. Maybe you realize that you are maintaining an appearance that no longer corresponds to your essence, a role that you accepted for survival, but that now feels empty. It could be the job, the relationship, the spiritual persona, even the way you speak. Everything that was created to please, avoid conflict, or adapt to the external begins to shake at its foundations, because the soul can no longer pretend to have coherence where there is no vibrational truth. This falling of the mask will not be theatrical. It will be subtle, but profound. A discomfort that grows. A discomfort when repeating old speeches. A silent desire to withdraw and reappear differently. And it is in that vacuum, between what you are no longer and what you don't yet know how to be, that the new you begins to be born. August is not asking you to reinvent yourself. It is inviting you to remember who you were before you had to be what the world expected. And that memory is healing. It's a mission. It's momentum. It can hurt, yes, because letting go of a safe version to inhabit a raw truth requires courage. But that pain is the sign that the transition has begun. And when you allow that mask to fall, something sacred happens. The world responds. The right people find you. The right doors open. Because the frequency of your truth is magnetic, and the universe can only align you with what is yours when you stop acting. The mind will not decide. The clock will not. In August, there will be days when something bigger inside you will simply stand up. A sudden impulse. Almost as if an invisible force says, now. You will feel like cleaning the house at 3 a.m, starting a project without planning, sending a message that has been stuck for months, going for a walk without a destination. None of this will be random. These peaks of action are vibrational downloads coming directly from your higher self. This clean impulse, without anxiety, without pressure, is the clearest sign that your soul is taking the reins. You may not even understand the reason at that moment, but if you respect this sacred urgency, you will realize later that something has been aligned. Because when the energy wants to move, the body obeys. And your mission, at this moment, is to allow it. August is activating specific zones of your energetic field, places that were dormant, areas that needed fire to reignite. So when the impulse comes, don't rationalize, don't try to control, don't postpone waiting to understand. The understanding will come later. Now it's about movement. It's about aligning with the flow that calls you. Even if it seems small, like organizing a drawer, everything has energetic meaning. Every material action carries a spiritual reverberation. The mind will try to sabotage you with phrases like, "This is a waste of time," "It's not the right moment," "It doesn't make sense." But your soul knows. And if you respond with presence, you will see that the results are almost magical. Because the universe moves with those who move. It doesn't respond to passive waiting. It responds to the aligned gesture. This is the month to act when the field calls, to respect the subtle commands, to get up when the energy pushes. Because sometimes what seems like a simple step is the activation of a whole new cycle. After so many movements, energy peaks, collapses, and revelations, the last week of August arrives like a sigh. But make no mistake, this silence is not empty. It's a landing. As if the universe is saying, "Now that you have passed through the portals, receive what is yours." And what arrives does not come with a fanfare. It comes with gentleness, almost like a forgotten gift being placed in your hands. Something fits. Something is revealed. Something finally makes sense. It could be an answer you've been waiting for months. An invitation that seems small but changes everything. A feeling of peace that simply appears without explanation. The energy, once turbulent, now organizes itself. And you realize, the chaos was not disorder. It was preparation. Every discomfort, every withdrawal, every impulse repositioned you. And now, the new frequency begins to stabilize. This is the moment when the field vibrates in recognition. There will be no fireworks, but there will be synchronicity. Small daily miracles. Coincidences that are not coincidences. The clear feeling that something internal has been sealed. And even if the external life has not yet changed drastically, your perception of everything has changed. And that is the real rebirth. The last week of August is like the last breath of an old you saying goodbye, and the silent birth of a version of you that is truer, more aligned, cleaner. The tip here is, slow down. Listen. Notice the subtle signs. Because the universe can use this ending to deliver something light but absolutely decisive. And when this gift comes, whether in the form of intuition, opportunity, healing, or reconciliation, receive it with an open heart. Don't doubt, don't diminish, don't rationalize. August doesn't end. It seals. It anchors in your field everything that was activated during the month. And what remains is what will accompany you in the new cycle that begins now. If this made sense to you, don't let this energy die here. Share this video with someone who also needs to receive this activation. And remember, the universe acts with those who move. Your part is to be awake. His part is to surprise. August is just beginning.